Hi everyone, welcome back to Slanted Scrolls. Today I will be taking you along with me as I set up my bullet journal for 2026. It's the morning of the 31st and you might think that isn't this a little bit too clutch? Well, let's just say that I'm a really good procrastinator. So, the most important thing when setting up for the new year, of course, would be reflecting on the current year. So, a few days ago, I just started my reflection page. So this is what it looks like. I just have a large reflection here at the top, and then I divided it into 4 categories. First is what made me happy or proud. Second is what do I want more of. Third is what do I want less of. And fourth is what do I want to improve. And then I just listed out the things that happened in 2025 that fit in these categories. So for example, things that made me proud was my first time traveling internationally, and then being able to join pottery or leather craft classes, and then joining a book club, starting a YouTube channel, going to pen meets, something like that. And I think it took me a while. So the bulk of this setup would be in the reflection. I think I was able to list out quite a bit here. For me, this reflection, I'd like to do this a few days ahead because I won't be able to finish this in just an hour or something. Yeah. It would take time for me to add more. For example, I just write a few, and then once I remember more stuff, as I go on my day, so I will just write it. And then once I'm done with the reflection, I just give it a break for a day or so before I go to, or I create action items for the things that I wrote down in my reflection. So, and this is what I will carry into the new year. For example, since I wrote in my reflection that I want more workouts and less of me backing out of a planned workout just because of petty reasons. So what I did was I will create a workout system, and then this is where I will be tracking that particular system. So for example, for the workout system, I will be tracking it in my 2026 health journal. So I have a plan to, I did it this year. So I will just be moving this on to my health journal for 2026. And then next would be, I said that I wanted more sleep and less sleeping past 2 a.m. So I will also be tracking that in my 2026 health journal and my phone, along with the workouts. I will be tracking it in my health app that's on my watch also. And then I also said that I wanted less impulsive purchases. So I will be tracking that in my phone, in my budget app, and then in my monthly spreads, the same way I've been doing it in the previous month. But what I needed really for this is for my budget and my finances to be included in my reflection at the end of each week or month, for example. So I will also have to take note of that. And then I said that I wanted to eat more vegetables and then binge eat less. So I also plan to track this in my health journal. And then since I wanted less time on my phone screen, so I'll be tracking it in my health journal as well. So for each weekly, I will just be tracking my my phone use. So this is the first spread from December 29, so I just have like a small tracker or graph here that says time, so I'll be tracking my phone use and my sleep, so we'll see about that. And then for the other items that like won't become systems or habits, because what I've outlined here are like what I'll be making habits of. The rest, like calling my parents often, so those would be like tasks, and I'd track them somewhere in my phone. Like I'd add constant reminders to call my friends, reach out to my parents, something like that. I actually haven't completed this yet, so I will have to write those tasks in, but not everything in my reflection would like become an action item, or it will not be a track action item, something like that. So for example, if I said that I wanted to be more mindful and more intentional, so it's more like a constant reminder of what I want instead of like something that I will be tracking. Or maybe I will be reflecting on that, like each day, like was I more mindful today, was I intentional in my purchases, something like that. And then once I'm done here, so I've already started in tracking some of this, and then the next ones will be incorporated in my monthly spread. So yeah, I think it's important to do this reflection and like action items, because it enables you to look back into the year from like a lens of someone who's like a bit far away from all those lessons learned now, so like you can look at it from a different perspective. And yeah, since I started this in November, so this bullet journal covers November and December of 2025, or I just want to have a visual separation, which is where my cover page comes in. So as you can see, I've already sketched something out. Okay, I'll show you some of my previous spreads. This is my cover spread for 2024. As you can see, it's just simple. I did this with a fountain pen, and as you can see, there are some streaks here that are when I tried to erase it, so I erased it a bit too soon. But yeah, this is what it looks like, and I was planning to do the same in this journal, but I think it was yesterday that a brilliant idea just flashed into my head. So this is also my January to October 2025. So since it started in January, I did not bother with the cover page. But so this is like my planning spread. This is when I work on, or I was determining what I wanted to do with my 2026 health planner. So as you can see, this is just like Kinbor Weekly, and then I copied the weekly horizontal spread like this on what I'll be doing. So this is some of that. So this is an extra page in an old bullet journal, and initially this one was what I wanted to do. It's just stamping 2026, and honestly, if I will be doing this will be just finished in like less than 10 minutes, including my monthly my January monthly spread. Another option would be just a stencil like this, but this flashed into my mind. So this is like a pixel art, or like a pixel text of the numbers 2026, and then I stamped it in using this cap stamp. And until this point, I'm not sure if I will be doing this, because it's a lot of work and it has a potential to be messy, but I just sketched it out anyway. So I have here 2026, and I figured that if something goes wrong, I can just like cover it up with my fountain pen or something. But yeah, this is what the cat stamp looks like. So I will be doing this cat stamp. So I sketched this in with a pencil yesterday, and I just put in like an X for all the spaces that I need to stamp on. So I don't have a pet cat. We've never had pet cats before in my parents' house, and my current place doesn't allow for pets, so I don't have a pet cat. But I really like cats, and there's a lot of stray cats, and I've been like donating cat food for them. And maybe I can share pictures of, like, because my gallery is also full of cats and I love them, and I like taking pictures of them and like admiring them from afar. So I'll start on this spread, and like hopefully it's not a complete disaster, because I'm not the best with stamps. I didn't really know where this idea of the stamps came from. Like, it just, maybe it's what you call those momentary brilliant moments. But once it got into my head, like, I knew I had to try it, because I don't really do a lot of creative stuff in my bullet journal. I prefer that it's mostly business. I mean, that's why I also like to have like a separate creative journals, like a junk journal, because my brain is not creative all of the time. So I think this is the space where there's no pressure for me to be creative. Just write down my thoughts. I only need the pen and paper. For reference, the block for each number is 10 by 15. So I tried to center that. So yeah, I think it worked out nicely. This is my 2026 cover page. And then I'll just move on next to the monthly spread. So the monthly spreads, there's not much change actually. And then I will be going in with my Platinum Procyon. For the longest time, this pen has been inked with Sailor Kiwaguro. It worked really well. I like using it for headers and stuff, but it was also bothering me a bit because I have another Sailor pen inked with Sailor Kiwaguro, and then I have no pen inked with Platinum Carbon Black. Since this is a platinum pen, I was thinking that maybe it's more fitting if it's inked with a platinum ink. So last night I cleaned this thoroughly. So I think it's more than 2 years that I have it inked with Kiwaguro. So that it feels a bit sad, but I finally now have carbon black ink somewhere. And I hope that this would be a combination that I will also enjoy. But okay, it's not smudging, so I'll just take this. And And then later on, I will write the habits that I'll track once I've finalized them. And then after my monthly spread, so if there are any birthdays, I'll just write, or events, I will write them down later. I'll be using this as an impulsive purchase check. If there's one thing that I'm obsessing about that I really want to buy or check it out right now, like if like it's bothering me so much, and it helps me to write it down. Yeah, and then I left a space here in the left side, so if I survived a day without giving in to those impulsive purchases, then that earns me an X mark or something like that. So that's how I use this. If I do this correctly, if there's one thing that I've been writing about daily, then maybe I can consider that if I will buy it. Like for example, if I just wrote it once and then the next day I'm no longer thinking about it, then I probably didn't like it as much. Since I already started my monthly log, I would just add it quickly in my index. So this is my index page. I can't believe it's already 2026. Nearly 2026. I hope I will be able to edit this video and upload it, but no pressure to me. So yeah, I just put like the monthly spread starts at 46, and then once I'm done with it, I will just add the last page. So for December, it's still open because I haven't done the December monthly, the last day of December yet. So hopefully I can, because for example, this is my December 30th entry. If I can just fit in the 31st in here, then I'll just write that December is from 24 to 42, but if I write it here, then it's until 43. So that's how my brain works. And then this one is where my dailies for January 1st will start. So that's it for my monthly my 2026 cover page and my January monthly log. Also, this is my future log. So the actual bullet journal actually has like several pages of, I think this one is an index. So it has 2 pages of the index, and then I'm not sure if it's the future log, but for me, my index, I usually divide it in half, so I just need 1 page, and like I'm not the best indexer person, so I don't even write in the next column usually. This one is enough. And then so the next index page, I just white it out. Actually, since they already have a title index here, I just white it out and then add my future log. So I use a modified Alistair method. I have a short explaining that, so maybe I'll just link it. And then I have like the next future log spread, so I repurpose them so that they won't go to waste. And yeah, this is my lessons learned spread. I threaded it from my previous journal, so this is already my 4th bullet journal from Leuchtturm. So this one is the last. It's number 3, volume 3. Because since I've already been bullet journaling since 2016, but most of my notebooks that I've used are back in my parents' house when I moved out, so I left them there because I don't have enough space, so I'm not bringing them with me. But yeah, I just thread them. As you can see here, I added volume 3, pages 6 to 7. So if I look, you see here, it's from volume 2, 6 to 7, and then the next is volume 4, 6. So that corresponds to this. I used to do 2 pages of this, but then I realized I'm not filling them out, so I just downsized. And then I have my when did I last. So I like using this spread for things that I don't do often, like when did I last charge my batteries. So if I charge them next time, I will put that here just so I will know. And I also have, so this is my action items. This is my brewing on. So this is supposed to be the stuff that like I'm contemplating on buying or saving up for. Like for example, for big purchases. Like for example, I want to buy a printer, then I just put that in my brewing on page. But yeah, that's it for my bullet journal. I hope you you enjoyed my ramblings. Usually this is like a very solitary affair for me, but let me know if you like this, and if you have any questions on how I use my bullet journal, can add it in the comments. I do hope that I can upload this before January, so maybe if there are procrastinators like me, you still have time. But yeah, if you watch until the end, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.